So a couple weeks ago, I had a company by the name of Goldenmate. They reached out to me, and this company is well known for making lithium batteries and things like that. And so they'd come out with a newer product, and what that is it's a UPS. It's an uninterrupted power supply, and it's very similar to a product like this from APC, but it's much superior because it uses lithium iron phosphate technology. Now, if you're wondering what a UPS is, let's say you're working on the computer, your power goes out, your computer crashes and just shuts off. Well, that's not good for your computer. So you want something that'll provide constant power to it so you can shut down your work and shut down your computer and save what you need to save instead of just losing it. So I know here a lot of times I'll be editing YouTube videos and things like that. The power just crash and have to start all over, so it's a pain in the butt. So when they reached out to me about this product, I thought, man, I'd love to have one of these, because truthfully I've been using these just pretty much like a lot of you guys, and these are great for about 2 years, and then after that they suck. The battery goes bad in them. Ask me how I know. The reason I have these is my girlfriend, where she works in an office, they buy these every 2 to 3 years. They have to buy another one. They don't want to replace the battery in the back. They don't want to fool with that. So they just chunk these out, and I get them. And so the other day I was at a discount store and I found a battery for like $10, and it was a brand new return battery from Amazon. And so I just bought it, put it in here. So that's the only reason I still have one, unless you want to keep buying expensive batteries, because these things do get pretty expensive, especially if you buy the replacement ones from APC. Some of them batteries are, 30, 40, $50 for just a small little lead acid battery like this. Now I know some of the Chinese brands, you can buy those on Amazon and replace it with one of those, but it's a guessing game whether those little batteries are any good and if they have the capacity that they say they have and all that. Well, this is where the Goldenmate comes into play. It's pretty much the same technology as the APC unit over here, but this one here has a lithium iron phosphate battery. The battery in this thing will last 10 years or longer. So if you think about it, this is going to pay for itself several times, and you don't have to keep fooling with it and replacing them every 2 or 3 years. This thing is going to last a lot longer. Now, I've not tested it long term, but in theory, that's usually what you get out of a lithium iron phosphate battery. These are roughly around 10 years and 5,000 plus cycles. So anyways, we're going to do some testing on this unit today, and we're going to do a load test. We're going to do a test on the sine wave, and we're just going to put it to its paces and see if it can do what it says it can do. Now, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you would, please like and subscribe to the channel and take a second to do that. I would really appreciate it. It helps me out and keeps me motivated to keep bringing you guys more and more videos. So the reason I guess Goldenmate wanted me to review this is because they've got a Black Friday sale going on right now. And, like I said, I've never worked with this company. I'm not an affiliate with them just yet. I might become an affiliate. Just depends on how this thing tests out in my video today. But anyways, I went on their website, and they sell 2 different versions of this product. They've got one that is rated at 600 watts, and it's $169 on sale, regular $199. And then they have this larger one, which is rated at 800 watts, and it's a little bit more. It is $227.99 right now on sale, normally $259. So just wanted to put that out there. Normally I don't put pricing in there, but I figured I would throw it in since it is getting close to Christmas and all that. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and give you a look at the device and just tell you all about it and do some testing. And we've been doing some testing off screen, and I think you guys are going to be excited to see just how powerful this thing is. It is far more powerful than the APC unit that I threw in the floor over here. But anyways, I made some quick notes here, and I just wanted to read them off to you. Now, some of the things that you might want this product for is, let's say you got a CPAP machine and the power goes out during the middle of the night. It might, wake you up and affect your breathing, because obviously it's not going to, be helping you at all if the power's off. So, if you got a CPAP machine, this could be very helpful. Also, a modem and router, if your power goes out, you do want to at least be able to have internet for your phones and your computers. So obviously this would be good for that. And if you're a gamer, PlayStation, Xbox, and lighting, Let's say you keep a light on in the house. Let's say you're older, you keep a light on all the time in your living room or something. Your power goes out, that light goes out, and you can't see where the heck you're going. So, if you're one of those people, you could just keep a light plugged into this thing, and if the power goes out, it'll run it for a pretty good while. If it's LED and uses low power draw, this thing would run a LED light for a pretty good while. One reason why you would want this over the APC unit, and I'll just break it down in simple terms. The batteries in the APC units, they suck. Like I said, they only last a couple of years. That's it. 2 to 3 years, and these things just are no good. Well, this is a lead acid battery. This is an older technology, and it's just not nearly as good as lithium iron phosphate. This is good for, like I said, a couple of years, where the lithium iron phosphate, you can go over 10 years. And depth of discharge is going to be a lot better on lithium iron phosphate. Let's say the power goes out and you're running an APC unit with a lead acid battery. And this battery starts powering what's plugged into the APC unit. After this thing runs down about 50%, you're going to cause some harm to this battery. And it's never going to be 100%. It's going to take a small percentage of that battery, and now you might be at 90% or 80%. And then the next time the power goes out, let's say it goes back down and you run this battery down to 50%. Well, it's going to take another piece of this battery here, and it's never ever going to be the same. Where a lithium iron phosphate battery in here, you can run it below 50% and it ain't going to hurt it. Where this thing here, you kill it down to 0, this battery is not going to last very long at all. I guess APC is banking on the power coming back on soon. Keep in mind, when the power does come back on, this thing's going to be charged by the APC unit. It'll start putting power back into the battery and charge it, but the damage is already done. Where, with this battery that's on the inside of here, like I said, it's lithium iron phosphate, it's going to be able to charge back up and not be harmed like this one would. That's why this battery is going to be so much better, because it's going to last a hell of a lot longer. Also, the battery that is in here is a 24 volt versus this one here is a 12 volt. And so it's going to be a more efficient battery, and it's going to last longer, and it's just going to have more power. I'm going to prove it to you here in just a minute. All right, so I'm going to run you through this unit real quick. The way that you turn it on is it has a power button here on the very bottom. Hold it in for about 3 seconds, and then it turns on. Makes a little beep, lets you know it does like a little test, and it has a couple of LED lights. There's a green one here and a red one here. When it first comes on, the red LED will come on just to let you know that it just turned on, and then if you got a green light over here, it lets you know it's good to go. Now here on the display, it shows your input and output. Right now it's plugged into the wall through a cable going to my wall outlets, and so of course it's getting 120 volts of AC power. Then right over here, see right on the output, it shows 120 volts of AC power coming out of these outlets here on the back. And so this particular unit is the 800 watt unit, and this one here has 8 of your 120 volt AC outlets. They're rated at 15 amps. These are all battery backup supported, where on the APC unit here, you only got just 4. So these 4 plugs right here will only come on in a power outage. So these down here, these are just extra ports. The battery will not support these ports down here, just these 4 up top. So that's another way that the Goldenmate is better than the APC. All right, now right here on the bottom, there is a little reset button for these outlets. Let's say you put too much on them, it's gonna trip the little breaker, and that's your little reset for it. Right here on the bottom, this is where your plug plugs in. You can see right there, it's just got the little plugs there on the end. This is all just one case. You can take the inside of it out if you wanted to. You can remove these little rubber feet, and there's some screws up underneath the bottom. I don't recommend doing that, but I'm just saying, if you had to work on it, that's how you get into it. But anyways, I do like the fact that you can set it down and it stands up vertically. I'm going to set it up on top of the desk right next to the CPU and have it plugged in, and that way if I want to unplug something or plug something in, I've got these outlets right up top on my desk where I can get to them really easy. As far as your height, it measures 9 3/4 of an inch tall. As far as your thickness, it measures about 4 1/8 inch thick. And as far as your width, right at 13 inches on the case from front to back. Then you got to remember you've got this little plug that sticks out, you know, a little bit out the back, and you got to account for that bend. Let's say if you had 16 inches, you should be able to have enough room in the bend of that cord and push it up against something. So, you know, give yourself at least 16 inches. As far as the weight, this thing weighs just a little over 12 pounds. So it is actually lighter than the APC units because lithium iron phosphate batteries weigh, you know, substantially less than lead acid. So, all right, guys. So one thing I wanted to do for a test is plug this into a watt meter, and then I have like a little jumper box here where I can safely get in there and test it with an oscilloscope without shocking myself. And then I've got the little jumper wire plugged right in here to the UPC. Now, this power wire is plugged into a power strip down below me, and right now it's supplying the unit with 120 volts of AC power. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this AC power going into the unit, and we're going to look right here on the voltmeter and see, you know, just how deep this thing dives. You know, I know it's going to drop off just a little bit, but we're going to see if it's at a safe voltage. That way it'll pretty much simulate a power outage. So let's watch it. Right now it's at 120.7 volts, and I'm going to unplug the unit. Let's see what it goes down to. 116 volts. That was perfect. I mean, that is right where you want. And right now it's back up to 120.6 because I plugged it back in. We'll test it again. So we're at 120.7 right now. Let me unplug it and let's see what it dives down to. 111. That's still within range. You know, that's pretty good, guys. You know, the first time it was 116. That time it was 111. Let's try it one more time. All right. So now we're at 119.6, 120.5. All right, let's unplug it again. 110. So just unplugging it 3 times back to back, I mean, this thing still is fine. So I just wanted to give you an idea of your voltage, you know, when that power goes out. You can see right there firsthand. Next, we're going to check and see if this is clean power, like Goldenmate says that it is in their manual. They claim that it is a pure sine wave, so we're going to test that out. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is it does say 60 hertz, and that's right where it needs to be, and that's what it says that it needs to be in the manual. So for some of you people that do live outside the United States, this is not going to work for you. You know, some of you, you know, it will, but some of you, I think, run it like 50 hertz. So this is 60. So that is perfect for anybody here in the U.S. So what we're going to do next is we have the oscilloscope hooked up over here to the box. You can see I get it probed on each side. Right here on the watt meter, it still says 120.8 volts. It's 60 hertz. And then right here, it's got a nice clean sine wave. You can see right there. I don't know how well the camera will pick that up. That's a nice clean sine wave. But what happens when I turn the household power off? Does it change? Does the sine wave distort? Let's see. Still a nice clean sine wave, guys. You can see the voltage is at 119.4, which is great. You can see that I'm not pulling your leg. I'm going to turn the power back on. And let's see. 119.7, 118, 121. And then you can still see that sine wave is still nice and clear. You can see again over here 121 volts. So this thing does provide good clean power. I don't see any problems at all, guys. So next, we're going to test and see just how powerful this thing really is. It says that it can go up to 800 watts. Well, let's see, you know, if it can run this space heater. And I'm not talking about on high. We're going to run it on low. As soon as we turn the space heater on, it'll be on high, and I'll have to switch the modes down to low. but I'm gonna leave it plugged in, and then you're gonna watch me unplug it from the regular household power, and it's just gonna be running on the lithium iron phosphate battery that's on the inside of this. If it'll run this heater, then it should be able to run your computer system no problem. Most computers are going to be probably with a monitor and everything, and even, you know, maybe a router and modem plugged in. You should probably be under 500-600 watts. And right now it's only using 1.9 watts. I can explain that. There's an LED right in there, and the heater's on standby waiting to be turned on, so that LED uses, you know, according to this, 1.9 watts of power. We'll go ahead and turn it on, and I'm gonna put it on low. You can see right there on the front it says low. You can see right over here 600, 725, 773, 801, 814, 837, 878, 883. You guys can see right there on the watt meter. This thing's actually putting out more than what I thought. I was thinking it would only put out about 500 to 600 watts, but according to this thing, it says it's 836.9 right now. So what happens if you unplug it from household power? Is it still going to run this heater? It will. So see that? It just surged down just for a second, but it kept on going. I did it off the camera, and the UPC by the APC would not run it. The competitor model here on the floor that I showed you in the beginning, it wouldn't even turn the heater on. This thing's running. That's hot air right there. I mean, literally. Now, you hear that chirping sound? That's just letting you know that the power's off and it's running on the battery power on the inside of the unit. Now watch. You can see right here, 850.6 watts. When I plug this thing back in, it'll quit chirping. Gotta give it a second. There you go. It's running on AC power. So 828.1 watts. So you talk about being able to run a computer that says that it's doing 800 and something watts according to that watt meter, and I use it for testing power inverters all the time. And of course here on the front it's saying that it's using 808 watts. Let me pull this around where you guys can see it. Right there at my finger it says 808 watts, I believe. And then over here is your input, and of course it's getting household power. I'm going to unplug it again just so you guys can see there's no power going into it once I unplug this. So there's your household power. Nothing's plugged into it, guys. And I'm going to move it around where I can see what's going on. But it says that output says it's 826 watts. So according to the watt meter, 847, and this one here says 824. So it's close as far as the display. None of these meters ever work properly, and who's to say this one's at 100% accuracy. This is just what I go by in my videos. It's kind of like a baseline, because who knows if any of these are even remotely accurate or not. But it says 847 watts of power. It's still running the heater, so that's what we're going to go with. Just for kicks, I've got this APC, UPC down here on the floor, the one I showed you in the beginning of the video. It has a brand new battery in it. Like I said, I found one at a discount store. It was a brand new Mighty Max brand battery, and I replaced it, charged it up, and I tested it and everything. It was a brand new battery, and I'm going to test it and see if it'll power this space heater. It's been sitting in the floor charging, and it should be able to do something to it, but couldn't get it to turn on a while ago. But I'll prove it to you guys. But you can see this thing's still running, still putting out heat, still at 846 watts and 821 watts right here. So that's pretty impressive that this thing is able to power a freaking heater. Now, I know this is for hooking up, like hooking to like a computer or things like that. But let's say you want to go on a little camping trip or something like that, and you don't have a portable power station, but you want to have some lights. You can plug your lights into here. Let's say you wanted to work on your laptop. You could use this to work on your laptop for a little while. It would extend the battery life of it. If you want to plug up your cell phones, you plug that up. I mean, it's got a little bit of a battery in there, not much. I mean, it's not like you're going to go camping and use this thing to power something to cook with. No, I'm just saying, if you didn't have anything, an emergency, this could help you out. Is that what it's made for? No, because the battery capacity is not that big. But you see, it is powering a 846 watt heater, and it's pretty amazing if you ask me. Just to prove to you, there's the power cord for the UPC. It's not plugged in. Pretty impressed with it. As far as the fan, there's an internal fan right here, and I can feel the heat coming off of it. I mean, it's working. I can feel the air blowing out there. So yeah, that part seems to be working just fine. I just can't believe this thing is able to run this heater with 846 watts for this long. You know as well as I do, if that was that APC unit down there, that thing would already be doing that death beat by now. It'd be going off. This thing's just giving a little chirp, and it's not loud and annoying like that thing is down there, I promise. Oh, and it still says it's at 119 volts. We can check it with the watt meter here. 119.1 and 119 on there. So that's pretty accurate. All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heater off. And you can see right there, it jumped up to 121 volts because there's no load on it. And the wattage is back down to 1.8 watts. And it says right there, watts is 2. So that's pretty good. Let's see if it'll power it back on. Let's see if it'll power the heater back on. Watch the wattage on the watt meter. $700, $800, $850, $920, $940. And it'll even handle the surge watts, when it first cranks up, and then it'll slowly ramp down. So yeah, this thing will even handle the surge without resetting. So pretty interesting, guys. Pretty interesting. And then if you look right here in the middle, you got like a battery indicator. I don't know how well you guys can see it. It's blue right there in the middle. According to the manual, when all of them are lit, you're at 90 to 100%. When 1, 2, 3, and 4 are lit and the bar blinks, you're at 80 to 90%. And then 1, 2, and 3 bars and 4 are lit, 60 to 79%. And bars 1 and 2 and 3 are lit, it's at 40 to 59%. Bars 1 and 2 are lit, 20% to 39%. And then bar 1 is lit, it's at 10 to 19%. And then bar number 1 blinks, it's at 5 to 9%. And then no display, it says state of charge is less than 5%. So right now, you guys have seen this thing's been running for a pretty good while, and we still got 3 bars. This thing would run this for a pretty good while still. So here in the manual, it says backup time, plus or minus 30 minutes at 400 watts. So I would say that this thing should run this heater somewhere probably around, I'm just guessing, 15 minutes, since it's using 800 watts, but it's a little bit above it. So yeah, right now we're at 846, so probably less than 15 minutes. But that's pretty good, because I've never seen a APC model UPS run a space heater or a computer for that long of time without just going crazy. I mean, literally, if the power goes out, them things usually are only good for just a couple minutes, and then, you know, they start going crazy, beeping, and then they just die out. One thing that I do want to mention is when you first get this thing, just plug it in to the wall and charge it. It takes a good 10 hours to charge it. It says in the manual it's less than 10 hours, and I did find that to be true. It was like 9.5 hours. It was right there under 10 hours. All right, guys. So I know I've been talking a lot of smack about this thing, but I'm gonna prove it. You know, I told you I put a new battery in this thing, and it's fully charged. And you can see right there, I've got it turned on. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it back up. You see, I've got it plugged in. So it's plugged into the right location. You guys can see right there, it's using 1.8 watts because of the LED, just like the other, when it was plugged into the other UPS. But next, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on low. So when I turn it on, it's high. Then I switch it to low. 600, 600, 700, 800, 841, 865, 874, 885. Yeah, got up to about 885, and now it's starting to, you know, roll off and stabilize out eventually. So right there, it's at 840, 841, 837. So we'll give it a minute to stabilize out, just to give this thing the best benefit of a doubt that we can. And like I said, I'm not pulling your leg. I've got a brand new Mighty Max battery in here. I tested it beforehand, put it on a battery charger, left it, put it on a voltmeter and tested it, and before I even put it in the UPC to make sure that it was working and at 100%. Right now it's at 829.7 watts. So what happens when I unplug this? Let's see if it'll still run this space heater. Told you. That thing ain't powerful at all. I mean, the battery's sucking those things, and you can see that it's going to sit there and beep, beep, beep. It'll drive you crazy sitting there listening to that stupid thing. And that other Goldenmate UPS, it powered this space heater, no problem. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, this thing it ain't even worth having, guys. Like I said, the batteries just don't last in them. They're not very strong. It's just not able to handle that much power either. Like I said, this one up here is rated for 800 watts. They've got two different versions of this one. Like I said, this is the big boy. This one's rated at 800 watts. And then they have another one that's a little smaller at 600 watts. So guys, if you're interested in the UPS, I would definitely get one of these because they are far superior to these older APC units. They're just a better option. All right, so we'll do one more test just to show you this thing is not very powerful. And I know I'm beating a dead horse, but you know, I just thought it'd be cool to test this out and see what happens. You can see that I've got this UPS plugged into a household power, and I've got a watt meter plugged up, and I'm going to use this little hair dryer just on low, and it puts out about 160, 180 watts somewhere in there. And then we're going to unplug it from household power and see if this thing can even power just a small hair dryer. So let's try it. You know, it couldn't run a space heater, so let's see if it can run a little hair dryer with 180 watts. Anyways, here we go. Right there, guys, 176 watts, 178 watts. Watch what happens when I turn the power off. Will it still run, or will it just die out? Oh, it's running it. 160 watts. I didn't want you guys to say, oh, you lied to us. That was a bad battery in there. I just wanted to prove to you, you know, this thing will run it. That's only 160 watts, where the other one was running 900 watts. But anyways, yeah, guys, this thing's able to run 60 watts. You can see the power's turned off. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off because, like I said, if you run this lead acid battery down below like 50%, you can damage the battery. So I don't want to do that. It's a brand new battery, but I just wanted to see for fun's sake if it would even run this thing. But it did. I was surprised. Like I said, though, it won't run what that thing can run. So I know what you're going to say. What are you going to do with this? Well, I'm not going to throw it away because I've just bought a $10 battery to go in. But am I going to hook it up to my computer and my monitor? No. But would I take and just run the internet off this? Sure. Or would I run just a lamp plugged into this so I'd have a little bit of power? Sure, it'd be good for that. But after using that thing, it's nowhere near as powerful as this. And like I said, I'll probably never use these again just because, you know, they're made to fail. And now that they've got new technology out, this is just much better. Again, can't speak for it lasting 10 years. That's what it's rated at. But I can't fast forward in the future and say, hey, I'm here in the future. This thing lasted 10 years. So I'm just being real, guys. Not going to BS for nobody. And like I said, I don't work for Goldenmate. Never worked with them before. They just reached out to me and asked me if I would test their product. And I think it did a pretty good, thorough test on it. I think that it's very powerful. And if it lasts as long as they say that it does, then it should be, you know, a good unit. All right, guys. So I wanted to do a quick little test. I've got the space heater running on low. It's been running to make this thing pretty warm, and it's down to 1 bar. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, and I wanted to see how loud the fan is on the inside. They say that it's rated at 40 dB at 1 meter, so that's the table's 3 foot long. I'm gonna go ahead and set this heater in the floor, and while that fan is still running, about 38, 39 dB, 40. All right, guys, so you can see this thing is not loud at all. It was right at 40 dB, and it said here in the manual that was should be at 3 feet is what it's rated at. Well, it was right at 40 right here next to the fan. So the fan is not very loud at all. I promise if you can't hear your computer running, you definitely won't be able to hear this thing running at all. I mean, it's pretty quiet. And again, I've tested it, and you know, it's like I seen it go to 39, 40, 41. So, you know, that's not loud at all. And the fan, you know, you can just barely feel it. Now you still hear that chirp because it's about to die. But anyways, gotta say, guys, this is a nice unit. And I gotta say, Goldenmate did a good job on it. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. You guys seen that I did the testing on here, made sure it's clean power, made sure that it would handle more than even what it said that it could do. And gotta say, I'm very impressed with this. This is my first Goldenmate product that I've ever had to deal with, and I'll probably end up becoming an affiliate for them just simply because it is a good product. Like, I would definitely buy this product and I would spend my money on it. But they sent me this one to test, and you know, like I said, I can't speak for long term, but here on the channel, you guys, you know, I'm always sitting here at the desk a lot of times doing testing on electronics and things like that. And so you'll probably see this sitting up on my desk because it's going to be something that I'm definitely going to use on my own computer system that I have here. And so if you guys got any questions about it, you know, just comment down below. You know, if you want to know how it's holding up or if I've had any problems out of it, message me and I'll tell you straight up. But as far as here right now, I've not hooked it up to the computer because I just figured that if it would run a space heater at 800 and something watts, almost 900 watts, then it won't have any problems running my computer. And as far as like the power going out and being able to be fast enough to recover and not flicker and power the computer off, you know, I've tested that just by plugging it, turning the power on and off, and you can see there's no lag in between. So if the power goes off, your computer and monitor are still going to remain on. You know, they're not going to turn off. So I've not tested that completely yet with a computer, but I know that it will work. So anyways, I definitely have confidence. But like I said, if you guys got any questions or concerns about it, just ask me in the comments, and I'll tell you, if I have any problems out of it, or if I had to send it back, get another one, just message me, guys. I don't mind. You guys see that I try to answer all my comments and questions and stuff on YouTube. I have people message me all the time, every day. People message me with comments, and some good or bad, or wanting to see this and wanting to see that. But like I said, if you guys message me and ask me how it's going with this, then I'll let you know. Now, like I said, I don't have an affiliate link for this. I'll probably reach out to them tonight and see if I can get set up. And if so, I'll have an affiliate link down below where you can click on it. It'll take you to their website, and it won't cost you any more or any less from buying it through my site, or if you just went and Googled their site and went to goldenmate.com or whatever. But just click on my link. It'll help me out. It'll give me a few cents here and there just for testing the product and making sure that it says that it works like it says. And so I don't get paid. I get to keep the product, and a lot of times it takes me and the person behind the camera several hours to test this stuff out. So I really do appreciate it if you do buy from our affiliate link down below. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm going to let this thing charge back up, and I guess I'm going to head on to bed, guys. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Sorry it's a little longer than normal, but I just wanted to do a good job for you and show you that this thing is a beast. So until next time, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks to Goldenmate for sending this out and making a really good UPS system. So, guys, see ya.